Hey guys, hope you're doing well. Jason here for TheChartGuys, taking a look at fuel cell technology companies, and we're starting with SPY because a lot of what has happened today is going to be reflected in most of the names we're looking at, and it's important to understand the context here. And what happened was bulls woke up a lot lower than they were, and they really took a good punch in the nose, and that is reflected in all these names. So what I want to point out first of all is that SPY on the weekly time frame so far still has weekly higher lows behind it. So we don't have any sort of massive sense of panic yet. The trends haven't changed. We have seen an anomaly in today's action. What follows it is what is most important. So right now the narrative is we will go up because we've always gone up. And until we start knocking out weekly support levels, that's the story we have to pay attention to. So keep a close eye on what the overall market is going to do. But right now, be cautiously optimistic that we're going to recover. We have before. I'm not saying this is going to be a guaranteed buy the dip scenario because it's a lot of fear and it's a lot of movement in one day. But we need to pay attention to opportunities, and historically these dips have been good opportunities, so please play cautiously. But that is why guys like FCEL had a big drop today, and we see a big dip and a lot more strength on particular tickers than others. FCEL is a good candidate. There we see a big drop. We see a lower open. We see bears attacking and a full-on assault, but we still have managed to find support in the area of EMA 26, and we close over top of EMA 12. So what is the story on FCEL? Well, possibly we could be looking at a weekly equilibrium. We'll have to see how much follow-through we have, but we saw 3 strong weeks. We saw a lower high on the weekly time frame, and now we're seeing a little bit of hesitation where we previously, if the market had been a little bit stronger, not taking that punch on the nose, we may have broken to new weekly highs. It would take a lot for us to get to that point right now, but we see that we're holding strong so far on EMA 12 right on the daily time frame. We also do have a daily support at 191. That was an important daily low and support hold. And then right at 150, we have a close to a double bottom. We have 151 on February 3rd and then 150 support on January 27th. So what needs to happen basically at this point is bulls need to lock in a higher low on the daily and start moving themselves back toward the upside. On the 4-hour time frame, we are looking at a 4-hour downtrend at this point if we can't get to new highs. And we can see that more effectively on the hourly time frame. There's that hourly downtrend. But here's that little bit of hope. We set a low, we set a lower low, and now we've set a higher high. And possibly, just maybe, tomorrow we can establish a higher low over 217. If bulls are able to establish a higher low, let's correct that number, 218, then that's going to change the hourly trend in the short term and add a little bit of not so much confidence, but the ability to build a base of support. That's going to be important here as we move forward into the rest of the week. So bulls need to hold 218 on the hourly. If they lose that, then we are at risk of testing 4-hour lows again, and then ultimately getting down to that 190 range. PLUG, let's not close that. PLUG on the daily also opening lower. We didn't get an inside bar break, but we did open low. Bulls closed fairly strong again, bouncing off the EMA 12. So that's 2 fuel cell names that have shown some strength, that have shown a good recovery off of our EMA 12, a good support level. Weekly time frame. Well, not a lot. We're in a strong weekly uptrend. What's important, though, is if we stay inside this range, we'll get a nice weekly inside bar. We're not too far off. Obviously, we've got a long week ahead of us. We still have 4 full trading days to go. But if we stay inside this range, that's going to be some good consolidation on the weekly time frame. We're just clipping back into regular non-overbought territory. So if we can close sideways and stay in this range, that will be good for overall long-term bulls. Daily bulls have to carve out a higher low, just like on FCEL. We have seen that drop. EMA 12 is held, so if we get another day locked in, then I will consider that to be a nice daily higher low. Then we're going to be looking back up to new highs, and we'd need that market strength behind us to get there. 605 would be our resistance on the daily time frame. On the 4-hour time frame, we've developed this nice 4-hour downtrend. Bulls need to get over top of our EMA 12 and our EMA 8. We're riding EMA 26 support. If we lose that, then we're going to look for a new low under 476, and we'll keep watching that trend for those trend changes. On the hourly time frame, we have tried to establish a little bit of hourly trend. The oscillation back and forth here is not giving me a lot of comfort. If I look at the 15-minute time frame, that's going to be a 15-minute trend, and we see that with more clarity there. And it looks like we've lost higher lows in after hours. So not a beautiful hourly trend, but we have a 4-hour downtrend that bulls can try to find a base of support at and hopefully set a higher low against 476. BLDP, similar story. big drop down. We hold EMA 26. This looks a lot more like our SPY chart, or I should say our FCEL daily chart. Where is that? Bouncing right off of our EMA 26. So there's our BLDP chart. EMA 26 support holds on the weekly time frame. We have a lot of room to go to establish a weekly higher low, so no big red flags there. And daily bulls need to lock in a daily higher low here. We do have some support in this area because we have found a couple days where we got double bottoms at 1032, 1071, and we're probably closing below that. Let's see what the candlestick for February 13th, the low was 1089, and today's candlestick was 1090. So we do have double bottom support here. Let's zoom in so we can get a little bit better look at that. Let's zoom in all the way in. There we go. So there's our double bottom support, EMA 26 holding. Bulls need a green day tomorrow to lock this daily higher low in, and then we need a few more green days to hopefully lock in that weekly higher low and add a little confidence. BE on the daily time frame. Didn't get down to EMA 26, but we did see a drop underneath our EMA 12. Bulls managed to close above that on the weekly time frame. We're going to be still overbought, or not quite overbought. 65.14 is the current RSI, and we do have resistance on the weekly time frame way up at the top of that big tippy top candlestick, 1452. On the daily time frame, I would be a little bit concerned given the drop that we've seen, the profit taking, the red day that's followed, and then a green day. This may just be an oversold bounce play. We'll take a closer look at that, but we haven't really hit any sort of important EMA supports. On the 4-hour time frame, RSI is currently at 49.46 with a 4-hour downtrend in place. On the hourly time frame, there's that oversold bounce. So we got an oversold on the hourly. We changed the trend. We've set a higher high, higher low, higher high, and now we are trying to maintain our strength over EMA 12. If we can keep this trend going, then that is going to be good. Otherwise, depending how you look at it, you can make a case for this being a little bit of a bear flag, and that would look something like that. It's not quite a perfect bear flag. I like to see a more aggressive drop, but we have a channel, and now we have a counter trend channel on the hourly time frame that may just be allowing that bounce to play out. So in order to protect myself, I will be watching 1075 very, very closely as an area of support that must hold. If we see weakness and a continued drop under 1075, I would consider this bear flag type setup, a trend and a counter trend to be executing for further downside. Bulls need to maintain this hourly trend and turn it into a 4-hour uptrend if they're going to do that. The best case scenario for that to happen would be let's try that again. Yeah, the best case scenario would be if the hourly bulls can maintain this trend, lose higher lows, get a nice consolidation, look for a 4-hour higher low above 1076, and change the 4-hour trend, which could carry over to the daily and hopefully fend off this big bear attack and current counter trend on the hourly that we're seeing. BLNK, another nice bounce off of our EMA 26. If we go and look at our weekly, we are looking for weekly higher lows and consolidation. Not quite overbought, but we could possibly be looking at an inside bar here week if we manage to close well. We're running out of words today already, and this is the first video. Overall, in the daily time frame, we see strong overall uptrend. We're looking for that daily higher low. If we see a green day tomorrow, I would be looking for the low of 270 to hold as that daily higher low and look for daily continuation of the upside. On the 4-hour time frame, we see a little bit of a counter trend, and we're going to be looking for an hourly trend change to lock that in, and we will be looking at this point for a high over top of $2.93. That's it for the fuel cell companies. Thank you so much for watching. As always, if you have any questions, please email me, info@TheChartGuys.com. I love teaching people about technical analysis, and I promise that sometimes I'm more eloquent than I was in today's video. Send me a message. I'll help you. Post a video about technical analysis. Send it to me, and we'll talk about it. How about that? Have a good day, guys.